Hi darlings, thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. And today I have kind of a crafty video for you. I am doing the week 4 challenge for the Encamped Bible study. For those of you that don't know, I am the troop leader for the troop Sunshine, and I am going to be trying to earn my commission badge. So I was blessed to be able to lead this challenge for this week, for week 4, and it is a commission badge. And what I challenged the ladies to do was to have a net and some fishes, and to really reflect on those verses where Jesus first calls the disciples to be fishers of men, and then also the verse where he commissions us to go throughout the world and to create disciples and to baptize them. So I'm going to be earning my commission badge today, and I wanted to bring you along. I'm going to be using this fun foiled sun that I already had in my stash to represent my troop, which is Troop Sunshine. I'm also going to be using this free printable that came with salted brew. Leah, she did it for us for this actual challenge, and so it has a net over here and some fishes, so I'll be using this 1-page printable. I also printed out in some vellum 2 sceneries of water. I don't know which one I'm going to be using just yet. I printed this on my inkjet, and if you are curious, this is the film that I use. This is super easy for you to print, and it's made for an inkjet printer. So I have 2 of these that I printed out. I also have some twine so I can add some texture to my net. I have some scraps here that I've just been collecting. I have some pop dots, and I have some crepe paper and some sparkly paper here in the back. So yeah, let's dig in, let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is pull out one of my pages from my Encamped binder, so I can then kind of use it as a measuring tool to see how I'm going to cut down my paper. So I go ahead and put the measurements, and I also go ahead and kind of put holes so I can see where they will fall on my page. So Leah was so graceful and so amazing that she made us this free printable so we can use for the week 4 challenge. I'm so appreciative. I am leading it, and this is the commission badge. So I based this one off of 2 different verses. First, the call of Jesus to the first disciples, and second, of course, the actual Great Commission. Now here you see me, I'm trying to see which transparency I want to use. I love this transparency. I'll link it below, that I got on Amazon. It's transparency that is actually made for you to print on an inkjet printer. So if you have an inkjet printer, I will have that below for you. So I am trying to see which one I'm going to use and which one looks better over the actual twine, which I'm going to use as the netting. So on the back there, I'm going to be using this sea green crepe paper that I picked up at Joann's. And I want to use that on the back so I can put my badge back there. So I know I wanted to back up this paper. I did do the first page, that printable, on regular copy paper. And I did that because I knew I was going to have some backing on it, so I didn't want it too thick. So I knew it would be double layered. So here I'm just measuring out where it's going to fall. And most of the time I just eyeball it, guys. Nothing super fancy. So now I'll go ahead and punch out the holes. I like to punch out the holes before I start laying things down. That way I can see where it'll fall. And here's where I begin to add my netting. Now, I do realize afterwards that I should have waited until after I put my netting before I put that back layer on, so I end up taking it off. But basically my process is just to extend the twine over the net, and then I tape it to the back of the page. Now you won't be able to see the tape, of course, because I have that backing. And here is where I just take it off so I can continue adding the different netting. So I basically lay it on and then tape it with some regular tape on the back. So I do that process over and over again, just creating diagonal strips of this netting. I kind of want to make it very random. I don't want it to be like a direct line or a actual pattern. I want it to be random because there's already a background netting on the paper. This is just to add some texture, to add more of that 3D element. And so this is going to help create a space where I'm going to add my fishes. So after I add on all the different pieces that I know I want, I snip off any excess, and here that's what that looks like. So now I'm going to go back and add some tape adhesive to the back of this, and then add on that background layer that I had to take off earlier. I make mistakes too, and it's okay, just roll with the punches and adjust. So here, those are all well put out. So I fussy cut all of the fishes, and I also wrote on the back of the little tails the names of the people that I am praying for salvation. I loved being able to really pray over and reflect on these verses, on the calling that Jesus gave to us, first to the disciples, but that extends to us. And I just love being able to pray and meditate. Sometimes we are praying and we kind of lose that momentum, but we need to be challenged, or I was challenged, and I was challenging the ladies in the group to really take the time to pray over their loved ones and not to give up. So here I am adding my title, and my title is Go Fish. This is exactly what Jesus wanted. He wanted for us to step out into the world and become fishers of men. He says that to the disciples in the calling in Matthew 4:19. And then we see that reflected in the Great Commission in Matthew 28 and those verses 18 to 20. He really tells us that we have to go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always until the end of the age. He's basically telling us, go fish, do the work. And so that is why I put my title there. I used some stamps and some tile alphas to finish that off, and now I'm moving on to the back of my page. So here I'm putting together my ribbon. So when you finish your project for each challenge, you earn your badge for that project or for that week. And here I am just using some scraps left over from the project. Don't throw away your scraps. You can always use them in other ways. And I'm creating little ribbons on for the bottom part of my badge. I'm going to then pop up the actual badge portion, and I was gonna leave it like that, but then I decided that I wanted it to be a little bit more dimensional. So I'm gonna add another layer with some pattern paper that I had on my desk. And then I'm gonna kind of create this poof behind it, creating little squiggles while I cut out in a circle. And then that looks much better. And then I adhere that to the back of my page. So now I'm going to insert this here just to see how that looks, and I'm loving that. And then I pull out that one page once again, because now I'm going to cut out the layer that's going to go over my Go Fish project. So I kind of eyeball and make some measurements and cut out a piece of that transparency. And now I'm gonna grab my hole punch and just punch the holes through each one of those sections. Then inserting that over, I'm gonna grab my sun and I'm gonna place it in the sky portion of this transparency. I love adding different textures, different elements to my projects. It makes it really fun and it makes it really interactive. So here I'm just using some backing from my pop dots just to pop the sun off of up in the sky here on the transparency. And then I'm just seeing how my layers will look, and then I end up adding a little tab where I'm adding the week 4 challenge. That way I know where it lies in my project. And then now lastly, I'll add some waves to the first transparency page. And again, this is just adding layers, adding that extra texture, just to make it fun when I'm flipping through my own project. Woo, that is it, darlings. I love how it turned out. Honestly, this was, it went a little bit deeper than I thought it was gonna be, and it was a little bit more tedious, but I still love the turnout. So here on this first page, I have the printed vellum that I printed on my inkjet printer, and I have my sun just to signify that I'm on Troop Sunshine. I also used some of the waves that were right in here in this printable, so I can feature the waves. And then when you turn it over, there you have my net with all the fish, and of course on the back of each fish tail I have the name of someone that I'm praying for salvation. And that is it. I have Matthew 28:19, which is the verse that I meditated on, the title Go Fish, and on the back I have my Encamped commission badge. So that is it. If you are new here, I hope you consider subscribing. Hit the like button and notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. I'll make sure to link everything that I use below, darlings. Thank you for joining me each and every video. God bless. Bye.